Hey, what's up everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. I hope you can hear me very well. I got my air conditioning on and I don't plan on turning it off. I did have it on for my Portland video a couple nights ago and it was loud as hell, but I was able to focus. So I'm hoping you guys can bear with me because I'm not turning that off. It still feels great. But anyway, um, Dan Hurley, this is me thinking about the Dan Hurley situation right now. I'm excited. The more I listen to others, the more I see footage on him, um, the more excited I become about the possibility of bringing him in. The last thing I heard a couple hours ago was that uh, the talks have advanced fast, and the chances that the Lakers could be bringing him in um, are starting to increase. Tomorrow, he's expected to be in town to meet up with the Lakers. From what I understand, I don't know how true it was, but I hear his wife flew in today and met with the Lakers. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's something I read on Twitter. So basically, he's trying to get his family acclimated to the idea of making the big move from the East Coast to the West. And tomorrow, I'm guessing that they will talk about framework, which is what has been reported. Framework on a deal, long term, very lucrative. In order to top what he's been offered, you're probably gonna have to go above 12 million a year. That's basically what I've been listening to. It's got to be above 12 million if you're gonna top some of the other offers that he's been given. I don't know if the Lakers feel they have leverage in the situation, given the fact that we are the Lakers and we do have an NBA opportunity for him. Um, but I think the Lakers are gonna learn from the Ty Lue mistake and take this guy extremely seriously. And it's been a unanimous. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. All the analysts, and I mean all of them, say that this is going to be a terrific opportunity if the Lakers can hire him. I haven't heard a single soul say anything negative. Nothing. Leader of men, X's and O's guy. I watched some footage on his some of the plays that he was running out there. Lots of ball movement, lots of player movement, all the stuff that I say I like a lot is what ultimately I am seeing. Boxes are being checked left and right. He seems to be passing all of my tests with flying colors, and this is good. This is really good, man. Hopefully the Lakers can pull this off, and then um, half of the battle, in my opinion, is hiring him. The other half of the battle is getting out of his way, and that means front office and their old tendencies that they've had, and the Knights of the Round Table, letting this be a new day in regards to how we move. Um, and then people like myself, talking heads um, who tend to micromanage, tend to be short-sighted, tend to be instant results, demanding. I don't know the word, but we want stuff right now. If we don't get it right now, we don't necessarily see the bigger picture. We can kind of ruin this place, to be honest with you. And so it's going to be on the talking heads to see the bigger picture and give him the time necessary to implement his system, and then go through the process of to being a rookie head coach in the NBA. Even though he's obviously a experienced coach in college, the transition is not easy and it's not seamless. So it may take a couple seasons for him to really start looking like a head coach in the league, and hopefully it doesn't take that long. But I think the idea is to bring him in to take what he already does and add it to our culture. I guess take the frame of what he does and paste it on top of what it is that we are. And if it all works out, we'll feel good about our next uh, era. And so that's what it is. I'm not as much worried about him as I am about us, our side of the fence, um, and not pushing a good coach away or making this environment impossible for him to do his thing. Um, so that's really what it is. I'm less worried about him. We have a reputation at times of being a bit harsh, um, and I don't know that won't be something that kind of keeps him from doing his best. I don't know, uh, but Every game matters here. Darvin Ham was a bit irritated by us as it pertains to how we pay attention to every play and every game, and micromanage everything he did. I think that's just who we are, and I'm not necessarily promising anybody that I'm going to change in that regard. But I think what I'm hoping this coach will be able to do is gain my trust so that I won't have to be frustrated with mistakes. One thing that really excites me about this coach is his reputation for hard practices. As you guys know, if you follow me close enough, I've been preaching this for almost a year now, maybe even longer. Talked about it for hours on end at times, where I just thought this team didn't practice hard enough, and I think that the translation between being a very good team and a very cohesive team and a good conditioned team comes first with practice and instilling a certain level of intensity to your practices. And this guy, he's a stickler for that. And from what I understand, he has some of the most difficult practices there is. So I don't know how that's going to translate to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Those two superstars, obviously this far into their careers, with the way that their bodies have already done so much, maybe they don't want to practice like that at this point. And I hope that they are not going to be a deterrent to our overall team success by skipping so many practices. I know the young guys will not, but in order for us to be who we're going to be, obviously those two big pieces have to be a big part of their practices, or else it's just a bunch of people rotating around your hypothetical Bron and AD, as to which it might not translate to what you see on the basketball floor in the real game. Even if guys are practicing hard, you can't ask our third string guy to pretend he's Anthony Davis and run like 70 reps and expect Anthony Davis and LeBron James to just step in after not practicing with the unit, and for the unit to, in theory, play great in that situation. I just don't think you could be a unit without the entire unit. And so that's what it is. I don't know that our guys are not going to be bought in per se to the hard practices. They just might not be available for them based on wear and tear. And so I think that could be a problem. I hope that it's not, but he's used to coaching 20-year-olds. He runs them into the ground, just like Pat Riley used to do, and I love that. I personally would prefer that. You got to have the minds and the bodies that can do it, though. Not everybody can do it. And so I think the Lakers should be intentionally focused on bringing the type of people to this coach that can handle his style. He's passionate. He's a stickler for repetition in practice. He has a very complicated but effective program. His styles of plays and things like that they're not simple-minded, it seems. Listening to certain excerpts of him speaking, the type of stuff that he wants to run, it's revolutionary in some ways, and it's layered in a lot of different moving parts and pieces, and it's going to require people to not only run the plays, but to run them a lot in order to get it down. But when you do, it should be impossible for other teams to really keep up with him out the gate. So, the type of turnover that we have with our roster, I don't love that for a coach like this. You kind of want to have players in place that are going to be sticking around for a couple years, sort of like what Denver has going on, sort of like what I expect Minnesota to have going on, where guys are not going to be moving around too much. Your top 8 is basically expect to come back for the next 3 years. And in a system like this where they run incredibly gifted plays, by year 2, year 3, your team should be on a string like crazy. But if there's so much player turnover, you're constantly teaching new guys these plays, and it can get a little frustrating. But he's going to run practices so much that new people should probably pick up stuff with that type of repetition in place. So I'm a firm believer that Groundhog Day practices and hard practices ultimately build conditioning, which should ultimately build the strength of mind to want to come back and practice. Um, but old guys do wear down, and so I can be a testament to that myself. I think this way, but even I have to take days off just because I'm almost 40. So for a guy like LeBron James, we'll see. We'll see. You know, he's already working hard in the off season. And he's in theory going to be coming back um, after the Olympics, in the process of that, to hard practices. And so that, I just don't know if that's going to translate. I don't know if it's going to translate out the gate, but I think this is a coach for our present and our future. And so, if all things line up, I'd like him to stick around, man. You know, a lot of the things that we were talking about in regards to when Darvin Ham was hired and when we were hoping to get Ty Lue, and we were hoping we would have guys that would hold people accountable. And as we said, leaders of men and people who could, you know, make you want to run through a wall for them. I think this coach has that naturally. He appears to have that in some of the, you know, sequences that I saw, his players chest bumping him and they're fired up and they were winning. He was running them in practice and they would go out there and be 10 times better than who they run up against, and as a result they ran through the NCAA tournament twice in a row. And so that's something that needs to be understood. Two of their most important players were not floor spacers, so that also was a high opener for me when you consider Stephen Castle's three-point shot is not really great, and you know, of course, Klingen's three-point shot is not available to you as well. So how he was able to get the most out of those guys and win NCAA championships without spacing, I think is curious to me. And you know, defense is obviously an important part of what he does. He has fantastic X's and O's both sides of the floor. So this is a premier coach, man. You're gonna have to pay top dollar to get this guy. You're gonna have to commit to keep him, and hopefully he chooses us, man. Hopefully he doesn't want to go back to college, because we could certainly use a guy like this to come in and create a environment for which winning can be expected. You know, a system developer, someone who can provide a culture for this franchise. And I think that's what's lacking. We've had too much turnover with players, too much turnovers with coaches, too many turnovers on the basketball floor. It's just been a whole lot of turnover, and we just need to shore all of that up, all of it. So that is what it is, man. Looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully they can get a deal in place and we can move forward, man. I liked the idea of JJ, but nothing like I expect to appreciate Dan Hurley, who honestly I remember hearing his brother's name back when I was a kid. Bobby Hurley was a big-time college basketball player, and I understand that his father is a big-time college coach. So this guy comes from a family that knows this sport, the back and front, and so that's encouraging as well. The pedigree of the coach, and just understanding that he's coming to a family organization. You know, it's a lot of family here. Jeannie Buss, obviously, and her dad being the owner, one of the greatest owners, if not the greatest owner in American sports history. And then you consider LeBron James and the possibility of the Lakers bringing in Bronny James. Even Cam Christie being in this draft. I don't know if he ends up a Laker or not, probably not, but like the idea of family is definitely something that we seeming to be establishing. So I like the idea of bringing Hurley in, man. And so that's what I wanted to say, man. I'm very hopeful. Now that they got our hopes up that we could get this coach, it'll be a massive letdown if he doesn't get hired or for some reason he doesn't choose us. I still feel good about bringing in JJ Redick if for some reason it's not going to happen, though. But this is one of those situations where somebody tells you, hey, yo, somebody you need to believe in is thinking about coming through. It's not going to work out in our minds as a fan base if this guy doesn't sign. I'm just going to be honest with you. It didn't take but 12 hours for our fan base to be overly excited about this guy. And, that's really what it is. I don't think I've seen the Lakers be this excited as a fan base about anything in a very long time. As far as this excited, not as excited as we are here. I don't think we've been as excited probably since Anthony Davis came along. Truthfully, I mean, this is massive for us, and what it does in some ways is give you hope for what this franchise will look like after LeBron James retires, or for some reason he decides to bolt in the off season. This coach gives us a reason to want to watch the sport even if Bron ain't here. If he's going to be running the type of plays that he is and brings the type of personality that it seems like he does, we feel like he can turn whoever's in the uniform into their best selves. Now, does that mean he can win a championship with a bunch of scrubs? I don't think so. But can he have a team that's not supposed to win nothing, win something? I think so. I think he's the type of guy where you can bring yourself not the greatest roster and he can develop it with the way that he runs his practices and the way that his plays are set up. He's going to get the most out of guys. He just is. I think that's already proven. So you hope that he chooses us. This is a situation where the Lakers have a lot of needs as a roster. So you hope that bringing him in will be an asset to the development of a new roster. Obviously, we have our mainstays in place, but there are things that the Lakers have to do within the margins to improve. We're going to have to let go of some guys. We're going to have to hold on to some guys. And if you have a coach like this, you feel a hell of a lot better about the direction that he can help your team move into if they trust his expertise and lean into what his system is about in helping them mold that roster. So that's what I like the most about bringing in a guy like this. He's somebody who now you're going to ask if he fits the system, as opposed to bringing a guy in and hoping somebody can get the most out of him. You're going to bring a guy in knowing that he fits something that you already have in place that should be run by everybody who puts on the uniform. I didn't feel that way about Darvin Ham. If anything, I just felt like we couldn't bring certain things to Darvin Ham because you had to manage Darvin Ham's choices. This is not what I expect from Dan Hurley. With Dan Hurley, it's like, all right, let's study what he did in UConn. Let's listen to the man, see what he likes to use, what needs to be in place, and then from there we can bring that pedigree to him. I don't know if I felt that way about JJ because we really didn't know what was coming from JJ. So we would just hopefully bring ourselves what we thought would help ease him in, or maybe just trying to get a superstar or something. But this particular coach, I don't think you necessarily want to give away your picks. You want to bring yourself young talent that can fit what he does. And in the event that you have those pieces in place, you just want to back away and let him work his magic. So that's what comes to mind for me. I just want to see us do that as a franchise. Let this coach run his system. Let him have his guys, and incorporate him. The Lakers use language like partnership. It's the same type of language they use in regards to bringing LeBron James in. They've shown that they were serious about that. They tried to do a couple things that LeBron James wanted over the years. I don't know how they feel about allowing him as much opportunity to say what he would want in regards to his team, but I would hope that partnership would be honored the same way. It's just the right way to do it, especially when you bring in a mind like this. You want to see what he has to say. I don't think LeBron James will be available tomorrow for the meeting because, of course, LeBron and AD are both working on Olympic stuff, training. I'm not sure how that goes, but if they're on board, I think it will go a long way in helping him choose the Lakers. So I'm sure there will be some representatives from the team. Somebody like Austin Reeves or Rui Hachimura may be available. But I would love to hear that LeBron James and Anthony Davis did a FaceTime with this dude while he was hanging out with the Lakers, just to let them know, let him know that we want him. I really think that would help a lot, because a guy like that is not going to want to step on superstars' toes. He's not going to want to come to a situation where he probably ain't sure if they're on board. And while LeBron James said that he's staying out of it, and I think that that's a good thing, when it comes to this particular meeting tomorrow, if he comes in and just welcomes coach and just tells him what he thinks of the team, I think that would go a long way in making this guy choose us. I don't know if LeBron James wants this coach. Obviously, JJ's his guy. But like I said, I haven't heard a single soul that isn't excited about bringing this coach in. I ain't heard a single soul. So I have to imagine the players are as well. Even if you have your favorite guy, you get a chance to get this dude and you see what he's doing, you see how he gets down. I don't think there's too many basketball minds that wouldn't want this particular person in their brain trust. I'm just being honest. Listening to everybody I've listened to, and I've listened to a lot of people, I would be very surprised if LeBron James wouldn't welcome Dan Hurley tomorrow, and Anthony Davis wouldn't welcome Dan Hurley tomorrow. I'd be very surprised. I'm just being honest with you. Even if JJ is my guy, when you get a chance to bring in a whiz like this, who's proven his resume is enough to be excited about, if nothing else. And so I noticed a little bit of a tug of war potentially there between LeBron and the Laker organization. It could be a little weird, but I think LeBron James should show his face tomorrow for this coach. I think he should. I think it would be a good idea. I hope so. I hope he does it. So that's my point of view. I know staying out of it and keeping that stance, keeping your word means a lot. And I see the angle for LeBron to stay out of this coaching situation. I really do. But if for some reason he says, well, I don't know if Bron's on board, and he doesn't sign with us because Bron didn't show up, that would be something I'd be concerned with. You know, that kind of thing. So I don't know, man. It would be great if those guys are available. So that's really what it is, man. Dan Hurley, hopefully we can welcome him in. I don't know if he'll make his decision right away. I'd imagine he'd have to take some time to figure out if he wants to take this job after the framework is put in front of him, and after he sits down and meets everybody, he'd have to let it soak in. That's what I expect most people to do in that situation. So I don't expect to hear anything too soon, but Laker Nation is excited, and for what it's worth, I think we'd be very happy if he accepted the job tomorrow. I think we'd all be very happy with that. From what I understand, the money that he would make doesn't come off of our cap, so it's just about how much Genie wants to pay him. So let's say they give him a record-breaking $17 million a year deal. It's not going to hurt our cap situation, which is a real blessing, and I'm glad that that's worked into the collective bargaining agreement right now. That should help us get the coach that we want here. And what else? The years, I'm not a big fan of giving somebody a 10-year deal or nothing like that. I see what Detroit did. They hate that they did it. It makes them not want to fire a coach that they feel they should fire. So that concerns me about how long the deal is. But when you talk about what his characteristics are and what you expect him to bring to the table, you kind of don't want him to leave anytime soon either. You get a guy like this in the door, you probably do want him to stick around for at least 5 years to put together his system, put together his culture, bring him his pieces, and then let them get used to one another. It's probably going to take some time. So you're not hiring this coach for no 2-year deal. I know I told everybody that I wanted the Lakers to sign a 2-year deal with coaches, but not with a guy like this. Not with his resume, not with what he's bringing to the table. You're not just bringing a coach to you, you're bringing the entire system to you. So when you have that type of thing, you probably want to at least give it 4 years, at least, with the hopes that you would be able to do more. So that's my attitude, man. I just would love to see the Lakers kind of use this particular situation as exception to the rule. Any other coach that we bringing in, I'm really not on board with giving them more than a 3-year deal. But with somebody with a resume like this and checks off this many boxes, yeah, we're gonna give him a nice long deal, man. If they do give him a big deal, I'm signing off on that personally. So yeah, man, that's what I want people to know. Just my opinion. I've had more time to think about it. I've had more time to settle into who this is and what he's about. Learn a lot. I still have a long way to go with my studying there, but everything I've seen has been tremendous, man. His style of coaching seems to be what I would like. His coaching, um, his practices, and what he likes to do that way. I love what I'm hearing there. His plays and the different things that he implements into the game seem to be unique and revolutionary, if not. Um, and basketball minds are excited about this guy and what he's done in college. I just think he checks all the boxes, man. Every box I have, he's checked it. So this is a slam dunk. Hopefully it's not just a smoke screen. Hopefully he takes the job, and hopefully the Lakers are serious about hiring him, man. Because this is exactly what we want. I'll tell you this: if the Lakers aren't serious about hiring him, they need to get serious about hiring him. If you did bring his name along as a smokescreen, you need to pivot out of that quickly and hire this guy. That's what we're telling you. If you're waiting to see if you get public support, you have it. Jeannie and Rob, you have it, man. Sign this person as your coach. If he'll take the job, make sure he has it. So that's pretty much my thought, man. There are a few things I wanted to say that I think are possible as I continue to do mock drafts and start to realize that one of the players at the top of the draft could potentially fall all the way to us, and that's Nikola Topic. As I mentioned in the previous video, he does have a torn ACL, so the chances of him falling dramatically in this draft are high, very high. Now I don't know if the Lakers are willing to take that chance, or are they gonna let him just continue to slide if he slides to us. But I'll tell you this: we do need a point guard that does what he does, and he should, in theory, be the 4th best overall prospect in this draft. So it might be a little redundant to bring yourself a guy who's going to miss most of the season. But I don't think too many times you're going to get the value that he brings to the table at the 17th overall pick. So the Lakers have needs. I think point guard could potentially be one of them. And if Nikola Topic falls to the Lakers, I think I probably pull the trigger, man. I think I'll probably pull the trigger. So I just wanted to say that. I think that's important for the times that we're in right now, given the fact that we're a couple weeks away from the draft, and this has been announced. I do think somebody probably will take him before us. I mocked him to Miami at 15 a couple times, but the odds of him dropping have become increasingly real, unfortunately for him. But it just is what it is, man. Injuries can sometimes get in the way of really great talent in the draft, and this is one of those situations. So just keep an eye open for Nikola Topic. Maybe somebody takes him early just off the strength of what he can do, but they will have to wait on him to heal, and it's a partially torn ACL from what I understand. So hopefully that means it's not needing any surgery. I don't know. So yeah, man, I just wanted to put that out there too at the end of this video. But salute to Kobe Minute, of course, that passed about 4 minutes ago, as we always like to do on Laker chat videos. That's pretty much my thought, man. It's a lot to say about this draft. Of course, I'll give you guys more content as we go along and look toward my mock draft that should be coming somewhere within the next couple weeks. And that's pretty much it, man. I hope everybody's enjoying their day. Unfortunately, the Celtics did win game 1 of the finals, and as I've been saying all day, you can't send a child in to do a man's job. And that is exactly how I feel about allowing the Dallas Mavericks to be in the finals facing off against the Celtics. Hopefully Dan Hurley can make it so that we have a team that's good enough to get to the finals, so that we don't never allow the Celtics to be in the finals without us being there to meet them ever again. That's literally how I feel about it. So that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.